Okay, it says live. So I guess we are live. Let me see if I can find the broadcast. And we are early. We are early on purpose because I want to do some testing. Have a little bit of a pre-show here. And let's go into my videos. First of all, I want to see how hot the audio is right now. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Yeah, I think it's too hot. Sounds like it's a little hot. Let me adjust the level a little bit here. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Okay, I cranked it down a little bit. Let me know after that adjustment if that sounds better. And I'm doing a little bit of audio testing here pre-show. Tanzeel's in the audience, and he says good afternoon, our wags, and a bunch of folks are in the chat already. And so right now, let me cut to camera 2. I've got the mix pre back in the mix here, and I'm running the audio through the mix pre with a new cable running into the mic input right here on the Roland. And so that's what you're hearing right now. In the back, I've got the Asden field mixer that I'm going to move the mic to, and we're going to test that. And that is going into the RCA-N on the Roland, which is line level. Arwag says, sounds very good to me. Great topic. Okay, so you're thinking the level sounds okay. And we'll wait and see if we get another confirmation on the level. And in this shot, in the back, I've got a Gitman Brothers shirt hanging up. And of course, I have a Gitman Brothers shirt on right now. And the reason I have that Gitman Brothers shirt hanging up there, and I'll show it to you here in a minute, is that's the one I mentioned the other day that a viewer was kind enough to send to me because it didn't fit him anymore. And it's in great condition. It's not starched, so I'll probably send it off, have it laundered and starched. But I might wear it 1 or 2 times like that. But notice how it has nice long tails that tuck down into your pants, and it's built the way shirts should be made. And so we're going to talk a little bit about quality items, spending money on high quality items, as opposed to a lot of the junk that people buy that's made in China. And there's some good things made in China. I mean, Apple has really good quality control over their items. They ride herd over those production facilities there to make sure that the quality is there. But in Spyderco knives, same thing. But they're kind of the exception to the rule. There's actually a lot of junk cranked out of China. And this cable is probably a perfect example. This is the cable that I took out that I think caused the static and the issues we had with this same exact setup with the mix pre going into the, here we go. The mix pre here going into with the audio out going into the mic input here. This is where I had this cable running, and I was getting those static issues. I don't know if some of you probably remember that. And one time I actually jiggled the cable around and it fixed the problem, so I kind of narrowed it down to this cable, right? Came from China. Things like this matter, folks. I mean, it really is kind of depressing how much junk we get that's made in China. I kind of think that slamming the hell out of them with tariffs are a good thing. People say, oh, well, it just means that we're going to have to pay more for products. Well, don't buy the junk. Stop buying the junk. How's that? Just stop buying the junk, and then we won't have to worry about it. Buy good stuff. Buy stuff that's made in these United States of America. I was going to show my timeless razor. Let me get that. Let's time check here real quick. I'm going to get my timeless razor. Okay, so here's the timeless razor, and it's made in these United States. And I just got a great shave with it today. No problem. And this will last generations, folks. So, you buy a quality item. And by the way, this sound device is Mix Pre 6. It's made in these United States. The Asden back in the back there, it's made in Japan. I don't have anything against items that are made in Japan. Most of them are high quality, and of course I'm wearing a Grand Seiko watch on my wrist. I'll also buy some things out of England. I'll buy some things out of Australia. Rode mics are pretty good. There's some other things coming out of Australia that are good. Germany makes some good things. Wouldn't buy their cars. They're too high maintenance, too expensive to run. But China, I think it might be okay if we just cut them off. Buy nothing from China. Oh, it'll hurt our economy. Fine. A little bit of sacrifice builds character, folks. And I'm apolitical. You know that. As far as I'm concerned, whoever's in the White House, whoever's in the Congress, they're not going to affect my life. What affects my life is what I do, not what they do. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and buy high-quality items, and I'll spend more money for them. And on one of the forums, somebody asked about a Breitling or something, some other watch. I call all these other watches, other than Rolex, other than Grand Seiko, other than Omega, maybe Patek, if you want a fancy dress watch, but really mainly Rolex and Grand Seiko. The others, why bother? Why bother? There's some great Rolex models you can buy and wear every day, and there's some fantastic Grand Seikos you can buy and wear every day and beat the heck out of them, and they're going to be great watches. Why do you have to buy these no-name watches? Why do you have to buy these off-brand watches? Let me know in the chat why we would need to buy one of those off-brand, some other watch. Why bother? I'm adding a JLC Reverso. There's a good point. A JLC Reverso, that's kind of cool. That again, for a dress watch, yeah, that's kind of cool. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't go there. If I was going to buy a dress watch, I'd buy a Patek, probably. But let's see. Was just looking at, okay, same thing. All right, I have 3 binoculars, all Zeiss from Germany, high quality and guaranteed forever. Guaranteed? Forever? Really? I think if you break them and you send them back, it's probably going to cost you money to get those puppies fixed. But we'll see about that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to do we're going to check the audio. I'm going to move the mic over to the Asden. We're going to see what happens then. Let's get a time check while I do this technical work. Okay, so now the mic is running through the Asden. Let me see what it sounds like on my monitors here. Okay, it's running through the Asden into the RCA input. And let me know what you think about that. I think the level might sound a little bit lower in my monitors there. I'm not as concerned with the level as I'm concerned with what the quality sounds like. So let me know what you guys think. I know there's a delay. And so we're comparing. Now we're running the audio from the Asden back here in the back through the output and into the RCA in over here. Let's see, Fool's Gold, a lot of watches nowadays. Vegas in the house. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be stuck with watches that they probably shouldn't have bought. Having a few select high-quality items trumps any collection. M. Edmund, look at that. Talk about a wise comment. 2 thumbs up on that comment. I need a nice GMT watch. Breitling Avenger 2 GMT or Grand Seiko Quartz GMT. Or Rolex Explorer 2 or Breitling. Go with either the Rolex or the Grand Seiko in that run through. Okay, nobody's letting me know about the audio. Let me know, folks. Does the audio, can you even hear me? I mean, let's start with that. And if so, does the audio sound worse, better, the same as it did a moment ago when we had audio going through the other device? Sounds good to me, but I'm not an expert. Carlos in the house saying he's not an expert. Anybody with a day date 40, we give his opinion a lot of weight around here. That's what I'm saying. So, and that, yeah, speaking of GMTs, that's a fantastic GMT right there. Just keeping time like nobody's business. Robert V says sounds good. Okay, so any better? Audio on Asden is better. Okay, audio is fine, about the same, R WAGs. So we've got one that says the Asden is better, and we got others that says it's the same. Blue Shirt Buddha says audio is okay. Here's the thing. The advantage to the Mix Pre is arguably it has better preamps and it has really good limiters built in. The advantage to the Asden is it's got line level out, which is going into the line level input on the Roland. So that's an advantage there. See, the Mix Pre does not have line level out. It only has mic. It's really made to record. You're really supposed to be recording with that device, right? But it does have mic level out, which I'm then running into the Roland. So that's the rub here. Neither one is the perfect solution. The perfect solution would be a Mix Pre 6 with line level out, which they don't make. You have to buy the higher end sound devices units, and then you've got other issues to worry about there. Audio is okay, Blue Shirt Buddha. Hello, Blue Shirt. Okay, so, all right, so let's talk about the, let me get the, you're speaking Chinese to me, Carla says. Okay, let me get the Gitman Brothers shirt here real quick. Another time check. Because I don't want to have that hanging in the background for the whole show. So, this is the shirt that the subscriber sent me. Very, very nice of the subscriber to do that. And I'm not going to mention names because I wasn't given permission to mention names. But see the nice detailing on the cuff. See the little angle there and the nice detailing there. See how the rear tail is a little longer than the front tail, and the tails are pretty long, period. By the way, these shirts they have now, that these untucked shirts that are real short, you know, talk about goofy looking. I mean, you know, you're going to spend a lot of money for a shirt that's like real short, and it looks absolutely goofy. But anyway, that's another. So this is Gitman Brothers for Roger Stevens, Milwaukee. This is, of course, made, they make their shirts, most of them in Pennsylvania, I believe. And so, just a nice, high-quality item. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I can buy a shirt that's made in China. Of course, I didn't buy this one, but I did buy this one. But yeah, I can buy a shirt that's made in China and maybe get it for less money. But I'm going to pay more, a lot more probably, and I'm going to get one made in the United States of America that's really high quality. What do you guys think about that? Let me know what you think about that. Okay, and what size do you wear? Okay, our Wags is going to get ready to send me some shirts. 1633. That's a 1633. The one I have on right now is a 1633. Some of my shirts are 1634s, and they'll work. If you send me a 1635, 36, I'll just roll the sleeves up. I won't use it with the sleeves rolled down. So, yeah, send me anything that's a 16 neck. See, if I button this, it's about right. Some of them are looser than others, but I don't like a real tight neck, personally. I mean, technically, it's supposed to be pretty tight when you put it on and you have a tie, but I don't like it real tight. So 16 works. Some shirts I can wear 15 and a half, but it's usually going to be a little bit snug. So there you go. Time to head home. I'll be listening in the car. Have a great show, guys. Blue Shirt Buddha is on the road making things happen. Amazon couldn't care less where the item is made. They could feature made in USA if it was important to them. It's important to me. Being patriotic and buying American feels good too. Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and people, like, I listen to Ben Shapiro's, is it Ben? Yeah, I think Ben Shapiro, his podcast sometimes, and he makes a lot of sense in a lot of the things that he says, but he is totally against the tariffs on the imported items. He says that's a tax on Americans, and it just forces us to have to pay more money for products that we want. And I'm not so sure that's a bad thing. I'm not so sure it's a bad thing to especially when the other country is tariffing the heck out of our goods and or not even letting them in, period. I mean, obviously it should be, whatever we're doing should be fair, right? And on top of that, I think it's probably worth it to sacrifice and buy things that are made in the United States of America. And by the way, if you live in Germany, buy things that are made in Germany. If you live in England, if you're an Englander, buy things that are made in England. This putting things on ships and sending them all around the world is inefficient. There's no reason why we can't have a factory making a widget here. We did it for years. We could do it again. Outsourcing and getting all these things made cheap in Vietnam or China or wherever, the quality is very marginal. Here's my perfect example right here. Garbage cable, right? A lot of times, folks, I'm being honest here. When I order cables, a lot of times I got to buy 2 or 3 cables to make sure I get what I want. And I got a guy in Pennsylvania, actually, talking about Pennsylvania a lot here lately, that makes my XLR cables for my cameras, not for my cameras, for my audio. I have them use Mogami cable. Now that is Japanese cable. And I have them use the high-end Newkirk or whatever they are, the connectors. And he makes them up for me and sends them. I'll tell him what length, what I need, and he makes them up and sends them to me. And they're not that much more expensive than buying them already made. But those are Mogami cables that I use. The actual cable is Mogami, and that's the best you can get for XLR cables. But I have those things made, and I'll pay more, and they'll last a long time. And guess what? They'll work. They'll work. They don't fail. I could buy a 15-foot cable with junk connectors on it, XLR cable, probably for $5, maybe $6 or whatever on Amazon. I generally pay about $40 or $50. Huge difference in price, right? But I'm going to use the cable for years and it's going to work. But too many people just want that cheap price. I don't know, folks. Ben Shapiro is a very smart guy, but that doesn't make him right on every issue. I agree with you, Craig. Let's help the U.S. workers and pay them a living wage. Robert must be a bodybuilder. I'm 20 by 37 and hard to find. Oh my gosh, 20-inch neck. Whoa. He's like Sergeant Push-Up that was in here the other day. By the way, just because I could, I slapped Sergeant Push-Up around a little bit, before he left. I always like to put people in their place, just so they know, who's in charge. So I just kind of, smacked them around a little bit. So I'd have to do that, if I ran into Robert V. You always pick the big guy. You got to pick the biggest guy and slap him around a little bit. That way everybody else leaves you alone. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, this argument that we'd have to pay more. Okay. I'm going to pay more. I'm paying my neighbor. I'm paying my friend down the street. Guess what? He's going to do business with me. It's okay. It's not the end of the world if I pay more money, especially if I get a higher quality item. And more often than not, you're going to get a higher quality item. Carlos in the house. I do not collect watches, but I collect HP calculators, and the best are made in the USA early 80s. Well, there we go. He's a collector of calculators. You get what you pay for. Tanzi in the house. Jeff Klein here on YouTube. There are old series called Industry on Parade. Amazing, showing all the products that were made here in the USA and that people made a living at. Absolutely. And, I heard a stat the other day. I think it was 77% of the shoes that people buy are made in China. Guess what percentage of the shoes that I wear on a regular basis, and actually that I own for that matter, guess what percentage are made in China? Goose egg. 0. None of my shoes are made in China. Okay? It's possible. It's doable. You can buy very nice, high-quality shoes right now that are made in these United States. And this guy that does this channel, he travels around in his Jeep and he hikes and he, does all this stuff. And he's always complaining about his shoes falling apart. Well, guess what? You bought junk shoes. Buy a pair of shoes made by Russell Moccasin Company. They're not going to fall apart. They're going to hold up indefinitely. Let's see. Spain also makes a lot of shoes for export. There you go. Hello, Chip, and okay. Let's have Sergeant push up on the ship security detail. Absolutely. Craig, are your Stetsons made in the USA? I thought they still make them there. I think they still make them here. I don't know mine are old. So yes, mine are made in the USA. I think most all of them are still made here. They might make a few in Mexico. I'm not 100% sure on that. So I never say anything until I'm 100% sure. But here's the other thing with stuff like that. If let's say they stopped making them in the United States, like for example, Sperry topsiders, they don't make them anymore in the United States, right? Well, sometimes if you search on eBay, sometimes you can find new old stock that somebody has that are brand new in the box that were made in the USA, and go ahead and buy them. So there are workarounds that you can get some of this stuff. You got to be creative and figure it out. If you want to save money, clothing like this Skipman Brothers shirt, this one I bought new, but you can buy a lot of those kinds of things on eBay in really great shape and save a lot of money. Okay? You should be able to buy high-end shirts like this one for $20 or $30 max. I'm talking in mint condition, sometimes brand new old stock. $20, $30, and you're talking about a $150 shirt. Okay, so that's not bad. And yes, you could probably buy a shirt for $10 at Walmart, right? But still, it's going to be junk. Imagine a Zippo lighter made in China. Jeff Klein, shirt colors, you are not a collector with 10 Rolex watches. I just got a new pair of Red Wing boots for the country. I work for Brokenhearted as the new pair says made in China, Jeff. Yeah, see, I wouldn't have bought them. I just would absolutely pass. I hear you, Jeff. Yeah. No, I couldn't wear them. I just couldn't do it. New Balance sneakers has a special series of Made in USA and Made in UK. Yeah, I used to wear some New Balance, like 993s and some New Balance 1500s, and I still have several pairs that are made in the USA. I don't wear them anymore because I found that the moccasin style shoes that I wear are much more comfortable for when I go on long walks and things like that. I used to even wear the New Balances for walking. Now, I did lie earlier. I'm sorry. I have a pair of high-end tennis shoes. I think they're Nikes or whatever, that were probably made in China. So yeah, I do have one pair of shoes that were most likely made in China, and yeah, it is hard to find tennis shoes that are made in the USA, but everything else you can find made in the USA. And there are some tennis shoes that are made here too. I forget the brand, but there are some. I prefer maple syrup made in Canada where I'm from. There you go. I have to use that brand. I have to use that brand per the country. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I do not consider a collector as I do not have any kind of objective. I collect other things that I actually try to complete the collection. Okay. And so, okay, so let's talk about, before I forget, let's talk about, and before I do this, let me switch back to the mix pre. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm back on the mix pre. Okay, this source here, and again, it is running into the microphone input on the Roland via the 3.5 mil input. And so, same microphone, but that's a different setup. So let me know what you think, if you think it sounds any different. Okay, so, and we're going to talk about the investing and all that just a second. I just want to read this comment. China has made a lot of people rich. Buy cheap goods from there, import and sell for huge markup, rinse, repeat. Absolutely. That's right. Very, very good. Say hi. County. Okay, county, like Sarasota County. Well, why do they force you to wear Chinese-made shoes? I don't understand that. The sad thing, Chip, are trendy items that are made overseas in sweatshops but sell for premium prices in the U.S. like Under Armour. I hear you. And there are, in most cases, there are much better options, things you can buy and wear, and probably even for less money, especially if you get creative. All right, so let's talk about purchasing items. We've been talking about that a little bit. And my philosophy is buy a piece of gear or clothing or whatever that meets your needs, that is going to have a relatively long service life, that is going to help you really get the job done, whatever that job is, and therefore help you make more money, maybe help you stay in better health so that you can make more money. It's all about accumulating more money, okay? That's what it's about in the end of the day. And these people that say, oh, no, money doesn't matter and all that, I don't know what planet they're on. It matters in these United States of America. This is a capitalistic society. Money is what matters, okay? If you've got money, you can have health. If you've got health, you can enjoy life. It's as simple as that. Now you can take it to the extreme and be like totally, possessed or totally whatever, obsessed with accumulating money and not live life along the way. I mean, that's stupid, but operating efficiently and getting money is a good thing. So yeah, buying things that help you with, like the tools that we're talking about, like this mixer and different things, right? That are helping me do what I need to do. Yes, I'll buy things like that, right? The watch. I mean, I'll buy a high-end watch because I want it to be working. I want it to be accurate. I want to be able to rely on it. When I look at it, I want it to look nice. I want to feel good about what's on my wrist, right? Not something in a safe somewhere. I'm talking something on my wrist that I'm actually using. That, I think, is a good move. Okay? So equipment, watches, food, buy high quality food that you put in your body. Anything you put in your body should be high quality, right? I think that makes sense. But you look at what most people put in their body. They go to like McDonald's or whatever, right? I mean, my God. So yeah. Okay, so we got buying high quality items that have a long service life, that you get what you pay for. You don't just pay for a brand name. You don't overpay. Like you don't pay over list to buy a Batman because a Batman just happens to be the popular watch right now, right? That would not be prudent, right? So instead you buy something that's readily available. Siri thinks I asked her a question. Come on, Siri. What the heck? Okay, so anyway, Craig, did you get the Sennheiser headphones? Not yet. I'm going to get them probably Thursday or Friday. They're coming. They're not coming super fast. But I'm looking forward to trying them on and seeing how comfortable they are. I'll do it on air here. When I get them, I'll be on air with them. Let's see here. High Turkey Vulture, Vegas. My hand tools are Craftsman and Snap-on with lifetime guarantees. I believe they're made in America. Yeah, the Craftsman used to be. I have a lot of Snap-on tools, and yeah, they're really good. Absolutely, I believe in Snap-on tools. And I don't use them that often at all, but it's nice when I use them to know that they're going to do what they need to do. Yep. Did anyone see Kevin O'Leary's top 6 investment watch video? Uh-oh, investment watches. Can you imagine? Okay. So oh, by the way, nobody commented on the audio switch. We switched over to the other audio. Let me know, please, in the chat what you think. Okay, so let's talk about investing. Let's talk about saving, and then let's talk about investing, because I categorize those things differently. I look at saving. It was horrible. Did you? Oh, I guess you're talking about the investment video. Okay. I don't know. You're talking about my audio. All right. So let's talk about saving. To me, saving is putting money aside somewhere relatively safe so that you can have access to it when you need it, when an emergency happens or whatever. To me, investing is putting your money to work in some way, shape, or form to get a return on that investment. And typically, the higher the risk to the investment, the higher the potential return, and of course, the higher the potential loss or risk. And so the way I look at it is everybody should save some money for a rainy day, the old saving for a rainy day, or as Dave Ramsey would say, an emergency fund. And then people should then have investments in various types of investments with different amounts of risk, and as the term they'd say, diversified, right? So you have some money in real estate, you have some money in stocks, maybe some money in bonds, you've got maybe some money in Bitcoin. By the way, Bitcoin was just pumping. Every time I put out a show, when I put Bitcoin in the icon, Bitcoin takes a little pump. Let's take a look and see what it's doing right now. Takes a little bit of a pump, a little bit of a pump and dump. A little pump and dump. Let me sign in this thing. Oh, it's asking for my two-step verification. Jeez, come on. You know who I am. You know what computer this is. The heck is wrong with you people? I'm going to talk about hackers, too, what they should do to hackers. Let me get my verification code here. What the heck is it? Okay. Don't ask me again on this computer for 30 days. Yeah, right. Okay, so we're going to get into the computer here. It's just over 8,000. It pumped a little bit right before the show. Now it's dumping a little bit. Pump and dump. So there we go. Bitcoin's just over $8,000, which if you ask me, that's awful high, okay? I was hoping that Bitcoin, and I talked about this a couple years ago. I was hoping, I think Bitcoin was $1,200 at the time. I was hoping that Bitcoin would hit 5,000 by the 2020 halving. That's a year from now, by the way. We just passed a year. We're inside of a year for the halving, the next halving in 2020. I was hoping it would hit 5,000 by 2020, but here we are at 8,000 today. So that's very, very bizarre stuff. Leslie, is the sound slightly muffled? Hello, all. Kevin was crying, picking up his Nautilus 5711. It was weird. And let's see. Thomas is back in the house. I'm on the mix pre right now is where the audio is coming from. So let me know if it is muffled. Now, one thing I will say is with the mix pre, with the mic input, I do have the mic gate on in the Roland so that if I don't talk, like if I say nothing right now, you probably hear nothing at all because the mic gate clicks in. And so you don't hear the fan blowing or anything, right? So that might also affect the audio quality when I'm actually talking because I got to overcome the mic gate, right? And so there might be a little bit of muffling there. Let's see here. Saving is paying yourself first. Don't save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving, says Warren Buffett. And he ought to know. Well, there you go. Absolutely. Warren Buffett in the house. Wow, 8K is a great escalation. Thomas in the house. RWAG's 5K is not going to happen anytime soon. Okay. RWAGs has become a Bitcoin bull. Wow. Okay. I would not be surprised if we have another major pullback. I'd not be surprised if we go down to test 3,500, 3,000, somewhere in that range. I'm actually hoping we do because I would like to buy a couple more Bitcoin at that price point. But if we don't, we don't. Fortunately, I've got more than enough, so we can just let her ride here. Let her ride. Got an Oyster Perpetual date just coming tomorrow. There we go. Floor Guys 01. That's a nice watch. You cannot beat a date just. Which bracelet on it? Oh, Masha's calling. Give me a second here. Masha. Good. I'm live broadcasting. Do you want to say hi to the viewers? Hold on. I'll put you on speaker. I want to see if I can put you on the speakerphone. Are you there? Okay. So, Masha, where are you?
I'm in Rio, Gaithersburg.
Oh, Rio, Gaithersburg.
Day, walking around the
Okay. Are you going to go inside and do some exercising too?
I'm nice.
Yeah.
Not gonna go. Just walk
I was out.
with the stroller.
Okay. I was out for 2 hours today. I went for a midday walk, and we got a good walk in. So I got 3 walkie-talkies. Little walkie-talkies.
Yes, that's great.
So I'm going to do a review on them, and if the girls want them, they can use them to talk to each other.
I'm sure they like walking.
Okay. All right. So is it anything important that you called about? Remember, we're on the air right now.
Just wanted to check. I'll call you later.
Okay. Have
Everybody has a good night.
Have a good walk.
Thanks, Craig. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, the lovely Masha out for a little walk. Out for a little walk at Rio in Gaithersburg. Let's see here. Good evening, gents. Congrats. She's cutting in and out on your audio. Yeah, that's probably the mic gate. It's probably the mic gate cutting her in and out. So that's normal. So let's see here. See if she'd have called in via Skype, then actually that's what I should have done. I should have answered the call on the computer. Then it would have been crystal clear. Next time I'll try to remember to answer on the computer. Let's see here. Masterpiece video today again. Okay. Tell me, by the way, tell me about the ID guy does some great content. Tell me about the this investment watch list. What the heck was he talking about? I'm buying a JLC Reverso 976 tomorrow. Okay. There you go. By the way, let's do a time check here. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to get the watch there. And this here. And side by side. Do a time check. All right, let's see if we're spot on still. Let's see here. We're going to come up on 45 seconds. Bam. It looks like it's actually, it might be behind 54. So let's see here. Yeah, it looks like it's behind. So let's see here. Coming up on 20. And the official time was 21 or 22. So it looks like the Grand Seiko GMT has dropped a second or two, folks. We got news here. Now, yeah, that could mean that the official time on the computer is off. I should probably refresh that. I'm going to refresh the computer. We'll see what happens. Let's see. 5:26:52. You know what? My computer time is still accurate with the GMT. That's interesting. I'm trying to refresh the official time, and it's not refreshing. So I think we could have a problem. Oh shoot! I don't know who that is. Hold on one second. There's probably a scammer. Hello, Craig Shipp. That's a scammer. Okay, that's a scammer. All right, the official time is not refreshing, but the the GMT compared to my laptop, see 40 is still spot on compared to my Apple laptop. I'm gonna have to move it to the other side. Let's see how do I do this. If I go here, if I turn off the side by side. If I go here, site can't be reached. See that? Time.gov can't be reached. What a ghetto. Oh, here it is. Now it's refreshing. Okay. So if I go, let's see here. If I go to 3, go 4, go here. Okay. See what we got now. Yeah, now it's spot on. I had to refresh the world time. See? It's spot on now. That shows you how good the GMT, the Grand Seiko GMT is. It's more accurate than the world clock. I have to recalibrate the world clock to match the GMT. How do you guys like that? How do you like them apples? Huh? The GMT, the Grand Seiko GMT Stunner, I had to use it to recalculate the world clock. Let's see here. About 2 seconds, so my Seiko Solo is off by 5 seconds a month, even after taking a beating during utility. ID guy, I do like the Tribute Moon, but the 976 has the display case back, which I love. Okay. Anyone remember when you had to call the speaking clock on the telephone? Absolutely. At the tone, the time will be. Yeah. Totally forgot about the display back. Okay. The atomic clock is probably coming from China now. Jeff Klein in the house, calling it the way he sees it. Grand Seiko 1 and atomic clock 0. I was going to send you a Prozac, Craig. There you go. That was interesting, though. Oh, boy. Never a dull moment around here, I'll tell you what. That's the name of that tune. Okay, so is the consensus that the audio is a little bit muffled on the mix pre on this puppy right here? This is the one we're on right now. It's a little bit muffled, but it's usable. It's acceptable. Is that the consensus? And the Asden's a little bit better? Try to give me a final consensus on that, folks. I want everybody to put a vote in on this. I'm going to refresh my screen here. Make sure I got the latest comments. Okay. Let's see. Also used to set mine using the World Service News, how times change. Vegas in the house. Vegas is an old timer, it sounds like. Okay, what else are we going to talk? Oh. So I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys the other day. In one of the RV forums, a woman commented that she spent $200,000 on a new RV. He referred to it as an RV. I think it was a motorhome. Pretty sure it was a motorhome, not a fifth wheel or something like that. But anyway, she spent $200,000, bought it new, and she's had all kinds of problems with it. And evidently, they don't have the same lemon laws on RVs as they do on some cars. Some cars, if you take them back multiple times, like for the same problem, you can get your money back, right? There's strong lemon laws in some states, right? But evidently, that's not available to her. And she's had all kinds of problems with this thing, right? And so I put a comment in there. I said, you know, I hate to be the one to break the news, but most RVs are absolute junk. They're not well made. They don't hold up. They basically fall apart. And what the manufacturers tell you when you keep bringing it in for service, they say, well, you know, think about it. When this goes down the road, it's like a level 8 earthquake. You know, every time you drive, 500 miles down the road, it's like your home It's been through an earthquake, right? And, we can't guarantee that it's going to hold up under those conditions, right? I'm like, it's a mobile home. It's supposed to be going down the road, right? So, I told her, I said, I don't know if you can get out of the deal or what you can do. I said, but what you do is you buy a motor coach. You buy a commercial grade, over the road coach. You buy something that was built to go 1,000,000 miles over the road, and that was built to handle the rigors of being on the road. That's a motor coach, folks. That's what you buy. And you buy one that was converted by a high-end RV converter like Liberty, who knows what the heck they're doing, and they know how to build it so that it can handle the rigors of going down the road, folks. And guess what? She could have bought this one for 150 grand. 50 grand less than the piece of junk that she bought. So I don't know. What's the deal here, folks? Let's buy quality. Let's not buy a lot of junk. Let's not spend our money and buy a lot of junk. What do you guys think about that? What do you think? Somebody told me the other day, if you always buy quality, then you always have quality. You won't have any junk laying around. So if it's junk, just don't buy it. Just take a pass. I put in one of the forums on a watch, a guy was asking about, should I buy this watch? I said, I'd pass on it. And he came back and says, why do you say that? I said, because I wouldn't buy it, period. Let's see here. Let me read a few of these comments. I've heard nightmare stories about the Tupperware RVs and motorhomes. The audio doesn't necessarily sound muffled, but there is a continuous clicking sound. The kind of sound a second hand on a watch might make, some sort of static interference. Interesting. Very rapid clicking, says sound, Thomas. No one ever regretted buying quality. You need a polished platinum watch to combine with that chrome. A Prevost isn't an RV, it's a motor coach. Big difference. Absolutely big difference. Yes, like grass, I can't. Okay, so we got audio issues again. Is that what you guys are saying? Come on, be a little, give me some clarification here. Because you didn't mention the clicking earlier. So we're on the Mix Pre 6 right now. And are you hearing some kind of clicking, some kind of problem? Let me know in the chat what we're hearing. And then I'll switch back to the other system, and we'll see if you guys notice a difference, if the clicking goes away. So it's good to isolate this problem. So, and again, you can buy one of these that was well kept, that was garage kept. Somebody wealthy had it. They kept it in a heated freaking garage, for gosh sakes, and, maintained it. And go ahead and get that. She said she paid cash, because if she'd have financed it, I can understand, because you can't finance one of these older coaches. They're not going to finance it, right? The bank isn't going to loan money on it. You got to pay cash. But she said she paid cash. I say I can't afford buying junk. I agree with that. Spend, save, or invest. Yes. Check your email. I sent you a picture of my little truck. Jeff Klein. Okay, we'll take a look. Craig, sorry to be the guy, but FYI, Maxi only refers to the Rolex dials with larger lume pips. The new larger Rolex cases are called super. Okay, so super cases. Yeah. They know what I'm talking about, though, when I say those lugs are ugly. They know what I'm talking about. If they act like they don't know what I'm talking about, they know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ugly lugs. I'm not talking about the dials. The dials look fine. I think everybody knows that. And those that are like standing by that the super case or whatever you want to call it, that it's okay, that it looks great. They're just they're drinking their own Kool-Aid. It does not look great. It's a total fail. Okay, that's the deal there. Regarding sound, I abstain due to lack of subject matter expert input, but to me it sounds good. So Carlos is saying it sounds good. Yes, there's a very rapid clicking. Have you got a window open? Clicking. It's very low level, and I have to listen carefully to hear it. Well, there's a fan going overhead, but I can't hear it clicking. But I mean, we're using the same mic with both setups. So let me switch again over to the other setup and see if that goes away. You're muffled, not horrible, Leslie says. Okay. All right. Now we are, again, same mic. Everything's the same. Now we're on the Asden. And we'll see if it goes away. I'll show you the rest of these pictures of the coach. And then we'll go back to the other camera, to me. Okay. This thing's in really good shape, folks. Okay. And people are like, oh, it's old, yeah, how will I maintain it? And so, hey, the brand new one's a piece of junk. At least this one, yeah, it's old, but at least it's designed to go 1,000,000 miles, and you can take it to any Prevost service center, and they'll be happy to service it. And it really is not that expensive to service them, folks. It really, if you keep on top of it, I mean, again, these things are designed to be in commercial use for hundreds of thousands of miles, and they're designed to run and trouble-free running. Because here's the thing, when you got a bus full of like 60 or 70 people or whatever these things can handle, the last thing those companies want is to have the Prevost on the side of the road with everybody standing around with their luggage and trying to figure out what to do. So these things are designed to be extremely reliable going down the road. Let's see here. I put my ear next to the iPad speaker. I can hear that click, but not hearing normally. Still clicking, says AR Cruz. It could well be the sound of the fan. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'll turn the fan off. Okay, and it's stopping. It's going to take a little while to stop, but it's stopping. It could well be the sound of the fan. Don't worry about it, Craig. Jeff Klein, Asden has more analog sound, but lower volume now. Okay. And the clicking at my end stopped immediately when you switched to it's not Alden, it's Asden, R-Wags. So he thought the clicking went away. There might be a little placebo effect here. Anyway, the fan is turned off now. So there's that. So yeah, we were talking about buying quality, and here's a coach that was probably more than $1 million new. New ones now are about $2.5 million. And it looks like it's in really good shape. Of course, you'd have to go really check it out and make sure, but it's probably in very good shape. And buy that